the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at an amazing deal that we've been talking about for weeks is coming up soon. We got to get ready to take advantage of these amazing deals. And what have I been saying the last dozens of videos is we have to pay attention to the bigger picture, because no matter what's going on in the news media, I kept saying we gotta have a proper correction. The great buying opportunity is gonna come up soon. And I'm gonna give you guys a few examples of what I'm looking at in the current structure, and how we can take advantage of this as well. But we got to keep in mind of what's going on. We know that GameStop is like doubling down on their crypto investment, Bitcoin. We have what else? A lot of analysts are continuing to push out their big bull cycle top numbers of 200,000, and there's a lot of other ones, but there's a lot of Bitcoin adoption going on, and there is still believes that Bitcoin will be much much higher. As we continue through the rest of this 2025 bull cycle, the last year of the bull cycle before we continue on to the next one. But here's what we got to pay attention to, right? So we know that throughout this amazing bull run, I kept, throughout at least the new rally that we've had that's lasted like over a month now, I kept saying take advantage of these micro supports. Micro supports, every time we reach a micro support, it can either be a retracement area, it can be the 120 moving average, RSI, it can be previous swing lows being tested. I said there's nothing wrong. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with taking long positions, because I kept taking long positions during these. But you gotta have a tight SL. And I kept saying tight stop losses are extremely important, because even though, we are in the momentum, we are in this like bullish momentum to go much, much higher, corrective moves are still extremely possible. And if you guys remember, every other last year of the Bitcoin cycle, there's a ton of volatility. We can see like quick, like 10 to 30% drops, quick recoveries. We can see massive movements. And just because we're going higher doesn't mean we're going to continue this perfect uptrend higher. We're going to have corrections, and that's going to help the price level itself out, balance itself out, to build that bullish momentum to continue growing. But what I said in a previous video was the moment we break below this swing low right here, I wouldn't be surprised if the price comes down to the 0.618 at $105,000, and then trying to stabilize itself. But then what happens is that the price did exactly that. I kept saying you got to have tight SLs at the and I was one of them. I down here at the swing low, because the moment we break this, and it's most likely than not, in my opinion, that we're going to break below the swing low to go into better discounted values than it is to come up here. And the moment we break this, which we did, I said I was going to delete this area, and instead we're going to focus on how we can continue the move down to finally complete this bearish move, so we can accumulate at a great discount, and then we can profit off of the upside as much as possible. So here's what I'm doing. Here's how I'm approaching this, right? I am continuing to believe that we got to have a deeper wave down in order to have that bullish momentum push us up much much higher. So I'm gonna just get this out the way. I use 2024 as an example, and then I'm gonna show you guys something else as well that I haven't talked about in a while. But we had deep discount value in Bitcoin. We had a rally that breaks previous supports or previous resistances, and then it comes down into a proper retracement level before it goes up much much higher. What we have now today is we have a massive rally that breaks previous resistances, and now we're in the direction of coming down for a proper retracement. Now you got to remember that we haven't had a proper retracement in none of these rallies and none of these stabilization points, which means that a more significant proper rally or proper correction is the one thing I am paying attention to the most, which will be having a retracement tool from the bottom of the swing low all the way to the all-time high, and then this will be the proper retracement. So purple area means super deep value area, in my opinion, and for me this stands, how I view this is a no-brainer buying opportunity. But what can we look forward to now until that happens, if it does? Well, we know that the current swing to the downside has been in a overall three wave move down. The third wave is not done yet, just because I want to see the fib extensions and just filled properly. And if you guys been watching for a while, you know that I love to see, because it happens so often where we see, there's so many examples in a lot of other videos. This was one of them I kept repeating, where we have enough momentum to actually hit a extension area, which means that there is enough background momentum. This is to the bullish side though, but it's the same thing to the bearish side, which I'm going to get into in a moment. We have enough momentum to continue pushing it until it maximizes that area out. It doesn't have to do that, but it happens so often that it's just something that I automatically just stick with quite often. So we have this move down, and then the recovery wave making confirming a lower high scenario or structure, because we did break below the swing low. So we have indeed a confirmation of bearish momentum. Now this move creates this fib extension area, which means the price can easily see lower prices soon enough, because we have enough momentum to reach the extension area, which means we obviously have enough background bearish momentum where soon enough the price, as it does a little bit of a correction, it comes down. Now there's two levels that we got to keep an eye on, which is the move down, the single move that broke below the swing low, right? So we got to factor in these price levels, right? So we can easily pop up and go somewhere between 106 to 108,000. In my opinion, that's absolutely fine, but it'll be a bullish fake out. We got to see if the resistance is going to be strong enough to then push the price down and allow us to maximize this area before we can look at potential future positions. Because right now what I'm waiting on is just having a proper super clear indication that we have a support area that we can take advantage of, right? So right now there is no support areas. There's nothing besides the fib extension itself. All of this move right here, all this was some choppiness that was building up bullish momentum to go higher. I'm not using any of that as a potential support. What I am doing is that I'm going to continue to watch for a move down, understanding that as we come down and as the RSI backs us out to the lower side, we can see corrective moves to the upside. As like right here, or even this one, we came down, corrective move higher. We came down, corrective move higher, and now we came back down, and now we're having another one. Now this corrective move higher, can maximize somewhere between 106 to 108K, and we have this area now to keep an eye on. If we break over this area, it shows that, hey, maybe we have a super shallow corrective move and we're going to start moving higher. Now this is much less probable, in my opinion. It's there to let us know when we can start not paying attention to these areas and potentially start paying attention to this area. But that is, in my opinion, much less likely than us just coming down and finally completing this move down. So quite simply, right, again, what I'm looking at is that now, in order for me to want to take new long positions, I want to see the price come down, fill in this red area. Once it finally comes all the way down to like 101, 102K, to maximize this red area, we will follow the price down with this. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna use the area I just mentioned as a potential micro support, smaller picture support, to buy some longs with a tight SL, and the tight SL is going to be 100K, because that's where the fib extension premium end begins. 100K. I do not want to hold on to any long positions if the price breaks below 100K, because then I am clearly looking at somewhere between like 85 to 95K to try to maximize this area, and then for us to go much higher. So hopefully you guys have been conserving capital, right? Because I kept saying it's important to conserve capital. So the idea here will be come down, local micro support. We have a previous swing low right here. We have pretty good support right here to take advantage of a corrective move higher. We also have a little bit of this like descending resistance to keep an eye on, but we have a lot more downside to go. I'm not going to be one of the people that are going to be overly optimistic in the short term, while we understand that we have a downtrend that has been confirmed today. So why would we be taking, silly long, aggressive long positions right now when we have an obvious bearish confirmation, right? So I'm looking to maximize this area, trade the corrective rally higher into resistance, which will be the retracement area, and then waiting for the price to then come down here so you can start buying aggressively down here and go much higher. So the amazing buying opportunity, the one we don't want to miss out, is going to be this purple area, right? So we're going there. But then of course the move down retracement can ruin that, and instead, well, it won't really ruin it. It would just give us an area to understand where we want to then potentially start accumulating long positions in micro supports instead of a bigger support area. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll keep you guys updated and keep an eye on those charts because we have a really good opportunity unfolding in front of us. We just got to have the patience to buy real soon. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one.